Halt! No entry, outsider. Because I said so. Compliments will get you nowhere. You don't even know where you're trying to barge in. You're either very brave or terribly stupid. This is the village of the Volker tribe, and we don't need your kind wandering around, gawking like fools. Then pass through some other way.
What have you done? So brave, yet so foolish. Oh! You startled me! Oh, wait. You're the one who gave him a good... I'm Helmi. Yes, Taiga was my... I'm only sorry that Taiga is gone. But I am great. You acted honourably, allowing him to challenge you. The Delrida think fighting a madman is dishonourable, as if madness could be caught like a sickness. My poor Taiga.
Greetings, stranger. I'm Engsvar, the chieftain of the Volkio tribe. Ah, Taig. Taig was a problem. Someone would have granted him that death long ago. It would have been kinder than his torment. So he suffered. And we suffered. Your act was an act of mercy. It's good that someone will need to inform Helmi, Taig's widow. It's best if you handle it. Up.
Off with you, stranger. I don't want... Oh, I saw an outsider. I figured, but you... Not can I help you? Speak. And to answer your question, no. You won't leave me be, will you? I'm mourning a loss. My blade. Shattered into pieces. I will. Once the... But even so, I could forge it. It was forged from the same metal as the blood and guts of those wretches were everywhere. And I shattered. I realized I couldn't keep going like this. It had all gone too far, far beyond. The sword, it needed proof of love, and since blood binds best, it demanded blood. Until, one day, the blood of Avalon. Aye, so what? Don't give me... It's clear you've not spent much time. It went dull. Dull as an ulcer. Sometimes, if I went too long without tasting my blood, it felt like punishment for letting it stop. Oh, what, you want them? Fine, take them. I need to come to terms with the loss. But if you can forge something from it, I'll commend you. No, that'll be your work. I'll rid myself of what's caused me so much sorrow. And you just remember, if it starts whispering to you, you'll definitely need weird stuff. It's rare enough to see other people in the forlorn, but making it to the Vulkars, that's another story. Most don't. They get eaten, or they simply decide there's nothing here, and wonder why the hell they should bother. I don't blame them. But since everyone's abandoned us, they can shove it. That's not it, stranger. Listen closely. Some say Mathair has abandoned us. Me? I'm not sure she... Well, that doesn't matter. What matters is Vulkar. I'm loyal to the tribe because a man can be broken by the silence when his gods don't answer. But if he stays loyal to his tribe, deep... I'll take a look at what I've got.
An outsider in the Vulkar village. People rarely venture far enough to reach our... May I ask what brings you here? The moot? In the Mother Mines? But I'm afraid you might have come all this way for nothing. When we had the Berserkers, they thought us mad. And now that we don't, nothing we do ever pleases them. So what? Not filled with doom and gloom, you mean? Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't very... The tribe is like a family to me. It pains me to see them suffer so much, but there's still life to be lived, happiness to be found. There's no honor... She was right about many things. Nisa and I were even thinking about leaving with her. I can't leave the village. I have a duty. I doubt Fran would have been happy with me joining her. She's always had a strong sense. Where did you meet Fran? Oh no. Are you telling me Fran is now living? I would have paid a small fortune to see that. They must be getting... But I'm glad they've done it. She deserves... I am. I have Nisa, and I love her. We've survived so much. And they're acting... We should be trying to build something new, not just... I understand sorrow. No, I don't think she abandoned us. What kind of mother abandons her children? Maybe she's just showing us we can't cling to our mother's skirts.
Still walking, still breathing. Yeah.
What do you want? Unless you can tell me. My woman. She ran off. You're a stranger. So you wouldn't understand what a stain on. So now, I just sit here, staring into the... Why should I tell you? I don't even talk to my own... Well, since you put it that way, Aira. She's a tough one. Toughest of the Volker, but after our matron left and took the recipe for the berserk, she became obsessed with recreating the formula. I think so. Poor Hera didn't have much talent for alchemy. We tested every concoction on ourselves. They always left me weak as a wet She got stronger. But her mind, it broke. One day, after another fight, she hit me over the head, hard enough to knock me out. Of course, the fiercest in the kids used to fight over who'd get one of us as their father for the trial. Those were glorious days. Were they long? Oh, I've tried. Over and over. But every time I got close, I knew she was there. I could feel her out there. Maybe she knows something I don't. Maybe she's waiting. My poor. Start here. I saw traces that she'd been there. As a network of tunnels. I'm no spelunker. I'd just get lost, but Era loved that place. She'd go there whenever the kid... I'd give everything I have to bring her back. No matter the madness,
sensed your approach, my king. I, Gurfan of the Gunvaldir tribe, salute you as my forefathers decreed. Ah, so you're still speaking with your own voice. Good. At least I won't have to bother with that formal drivel Camelot loves so much. Tell me, how does it work with the two of you? Does the king speak through you sometimes? Or is he just a pat? Will he ever come out and talk to me face to face? Or does he just sit? Either way, I've got a few things to say to him. Not Ah, so he won't be speaking. Still too weak, is he? Not so... Well, then give my regards to the old man. Tell him the Gunvaldir tribe, the same can't be said of the Camelocians. Pack of cowardly dogs. I hope Arthur's squirming in your head, seeing what his beloved capital has been up. Normal ones, honorable. He entrusted us with the forlorn swords and his crown, the one he used to command giants. We were sworn to guard them. In return, Camelot was supposed to leave us alone, now and forever. But the Camelocians didn't hold up their end of the deal. May their souls rot in the weirdness. Can you hear me, Arthur? The treaty is rubbish. I'm rallying the tribes, and we're marching on Camelot. Nothing can stop us anymore. Except ourselves, damn it. Why? He's barely gotten his life back, and not even all of it. Does he have a death wish or something? There's a passage, sure. And if you're Arthur, it will open for you. Go ahead, if you think you're strong enough. Nobody's gonna stop you. But let me warn you, it's not gonna be an easy journey, or a short one. Well, the giants are asleep, at least on the surface. But below, what if they wake up when they see... And if the giants weren't enough, there are still the monsters, and other surprises. If I were you, I wouldn't go in there. At least, not until... Or without the blessing of the tribes. As agreed, 600, you'd know that if you remembered our agreements. Yes, the funny thing about our king, as you may already know, was that he knew he could march in there, grab his crown whenever he wanted, so he didn't sweat. He said he'd come back for his royal hat, only if the kingdom was in a dire situation. Traditionally, this was meant to be done during a moot, and I'm calling one, so we can help each other. Well, I need the chieftains to come here, because we have to agree on a united front if we're going to... And I want to make damn sure that we fight Camelot not as a solitary tribe, but I'm worried that something might be keeping them from leaving their villages. They won't. Our tribes aren't exactly known for getting along and gathering them all in one place, but now they've left Gunvaldir in its time of need, and that's why you have to shame them even more, so that they have no... And if they say they won't come because, then you'll deal with a because. Exactly. There's only one sane course of action, but I'll be waiting. I'm not... As a Gunvaldir, an eye for an eye. There's no other way. Does that surprise you? I was the one who tried to convince One Eye not to throw... But for that, I'd need united tribes, and getting us all to work together. If you ask me, I got scared. The giant in our village started glowing. We were glad, though the other tribes, not so. And that's probably why they didn't lift a finger to help. When us, the Dalrita, we have changed. We're a shadow. Well, you see, the giants for us are a bit like gods. The Dalrita befriended the giants long before Arthur ever did. There was peace between us, even when we honor them, because we believe that when they awaken, they will repay our care with their protection. What can I tell you? We're gone. I'm still here, and so is One Eye. He's convinced he can take Camelot with a handful of hot hits. We were brave, proud, and deeply connected to nature. Each of us bonded our soul. I won't tell you more than that. I don't want to. King Arthur. His presence clings to you like a shadow. Your words, your actions, they carry the weight of him. The way you stand, even your dams, the Gunvelder haven't forgotten. Betrayed by Camelot, but don't mistake my recognition for trust. If Arthur truly walks with you. As of now, 4. The Volker, the Svein, the Ulfra, and the Toyd. Each one with its role. The Volker were our berserkers, Mather's chosen warriors, unstoppable in battle. Now their rage is dulled, and they're slipping into despair. If we... The Svein are hunters, and guardians of something ancient. Forest devilry, if you ask me. Dangerous enough for us to keep our... The Ulfra are warriors, the best of us. Or they were. No word from their chieftain, no sign of life near the haunted keep. Mages, clever but strange. Their power is real, but they see the world differently. Useful in a fight, but don't expect to understand them. Still, strength is strength. Each tribe carries a part of our legacy. If we are to stand together again. Yes? Who have you managed to convince?
This is the entrance to the king's threat. Wouldn't it be wiser to draw on the wisdom of the local tribes before we go in? We must be strong and worthy to walk this path. One can never have too much experience. As you wish. Let us go then, and face the end of our journey. War never makes sense. It is a tool, and I refuse to wage war against the Fordwellers. So if Gurfhanna declares war on Camelot, but don't ask me what I think of it. Through your eyes. When I gave the forlorn swords to the tribes of the Dalrita, a few abandoned giant caves, the occasional lone pillar, what stands now must have arisen after, and I must admit, I'm impressed with how they've made it their...
his burden, the man beneath the myth. I am the face that time forgot, the name that was never enough. He was the man beneath the crown. He was the voice that doubted, the heart that still beat beneath the weight of legend. He was the man beneath the crown. He was the voice that doubted, the heart that still beat beneath the weight of legend.
First, you used these people to win yourself a kingdom, and now you herded them here under threat of being stomped to death by giants if they leave or disobey. After all that they've gone through, all that they've done, all that they've suffered, this is how you intend to repay them?
No kingdom will stand with people like them within its borders. They would have to change their ways. The Del Rita are not ready for this. You know this.
You did worse than all of them combined, and you are the one responsible for all they've done so far. They fought for your name and under your banners. Does this mean you're not fit to be a king? Not ready to have a kingdom?
I left the heritage of Pendragon behind me. I severed the ties between myself and my tribe. I lost all that tied me to the past when I became king. I set a new path for myself. They are not ready to do that.
Bullshit! You forced them to go against their sacred traditions. You destroyed their identities. They betrayed their comrades because you ordered them to. They kidnapped the children of the giants because you told them to do it. Everything they did was so that you could win this war. And now what? You're going to punish them for being your best, fiercest soldiers, most loyal of your men?
This is not...
Oh, stop with your excuses already! You broke them, and now you're abandoning them to starve or freeze to death in these damned lands.
This kingdom needs to be built on peace, Caradoc. Letting them live among merchants, lords, and ladies in Camelot or Timberwall. How would that go?
Exactly as anyone would expect it to go.
So we would end up with a civil war. Right after we won the war that almost annihilated us all.
Oh, damn you. I've had enough. I stood by you through everything. Even what you did to me. To Seawall. I let it all slide. I told myself it was for something. For a noble cause. But this is where I draw the line. I renounce my oaths, and I'm walking away. Put a blade in my back if that helps you sleep. I don't care. Not anymore.
Now I remember it all. I left the best of my people here. I betrayed their loyalty. And for what? Everything is in ruin. Everything I struggled to build is corrupted. This land, it had a glorious past, but it has no future. There is no way to save it. And what if my decision cost them the ability to grow? What if instead of helping them become better, I forced them to stay set in their ways? I may have been right about the diagnosis, but now I see that I could have been wrong about the cure. The tribes helped us win the war. They were fearless and followed every order. They were the most loyal of all. But I left them broken. And after the war, their bloodlust was insatiable. I had to do something. This felt like the only choice. The giants sided with our enemy. We had to find a way to remove them from the equation. So, under cover of night, the tribes stole their children. I told the giants their offspring were our hostages, and that we would slaughter them if they refused to bend the knee. One of the most humiliating moments of that whole war, both for me and for the Del Rita. Caradoc had the clearest eyes of any of us. He saw things for what they were, and I think I destroyed that. Destroyed him with all I did. I turned him into this. And now he's only a shadow of the man I once knew. He used to carry hope. Now all he carries is vengeance. I come from the Pendragon bloodline, a heritage drenched in as much blood as that of the Del Rita. A heritage that pillaged and fought in the homelands for longer than anyone can remember, and unable to build anything that withstood the test of time. I decided to leave it behind me when we won the war against the Four-Dwellers, and built our kingdom on Avalon on stronger foundations. Now we've seen that my bloodline must have been cursed. There's nothing left. Nothing worth saving. Nothing worth rebuilding. I gave everything I had to this land. My blood, my soul, my name, and the land devoured it all. I betrayed the ones who believed in me. I cut down the men who fought for me. I turned away from my own blood to build something better. And all I built was another ruin. I thought I was forging a future. I was just extending the fall. Do what you want. There's nothing about this land that I recognize anymore. All I've ever done got turned into dust, corrupted against my intentions, destroyed. Why bother? Future king, you return. speak your will through the mortal you now inhabit. Is it time for us to awaken? The Delrida have long been our allies. Through their eyes, we have watched your kingdom fall into corruption. Camelot will fall. Your will shall be done.
Keep your wits about ya. No match for our man. We'll make short work of... Keep your wits about...
What's that noise?
No one sneaks up on me. Sneaks up on me. Back to your...
Strength of 100 men!
You're from outside, aren't you? Ugh, silly question. You tell me, do you know anything about one? Of course. I'm Olwyn of the Spain tribe. But I don't care. My tribe isn't what it used to be. I don't know if I can talk about it. It's still too raw. Our god, the Lord of the Hunt, he got out of wherever he was being kept. And then he did what, faithful or not, it didn't matter. There was so... I'm sorry. I can't... Even under normal circumstances, that would be risky. I don't know how many are left, but if I were you, I'd go to Gurfhan first. He can give you a pass, so you can visit. So if you value your life, go to the capital first. So, about One Eye. No way. He actually pulled it off. I heard rumors he wanted to strike a deal. Well, thank you for the information.
So, you finally made it. Took you long enough. I hope you're ready, because this is it. The beginning of the end. Ready to finish your journey, of course. You've come far, but every path ends somewhere. Yours ends here, in the heart of it all. Philosophically, not you specifically, but someone like you. Literally. Yes, and I was getting quite bored with the wait. This is the Charred Conclave, a graveyard for druids, burned alive as scapegoats for the Red Death. It's a reminder of what happens when people fear what they don't understand. They spoke out. They should have stayed silent, kept to their herbs and potions. They believed their ancient knowledge, ugly and painful truths from times long past. But people don't want the truth when it's covered in cruel rituals, sacrifices, hard choices. They called it wisdom, knowledge gleaned from the wheel. But to the people, everything they did was unnatural. The druids believed their results would justify the costs. They thought Avalon would see them as saviors, but the people didn't understand. Well, the Red Church and their politicians made sure of that. The druids became a convenient enemy, a way to shift the blow. It's always so simple, so banal. Well, death doesn't always mean an ending. It was a sacrifice so costly, so cruel, and so you're the closest you'll ever come to seeing the true shape of this world. To greet you, I was once where you are now, a knight with questions, and here I found my answers. Well, first, you're going to meet my former employer. We don't see eye to eye anymore, but we both realize that he'll try to sugarcoat the hard truths I've been telling you from the beginning. Spin them different. Why waste time here talking about it when you're just a step from the end? Just remember, this is the point of no return. Once you've stepped through, there's no going back. But if you've come this far, I suppose you already knew that. Go on. He's waiting for you. Go on. Go on.
I've heard much about you, your choices, your determination. Caradoc isn't easily impressed, but he was impressed with you. Few dare to seek the truth buried in Avalon's shadows. Fewer still make it this far. I was the first. Caradoc followed when my brethren burned and the tear opened. And now, here you are, a truly rare and joyful occasion. Oh, forgive my lack of manners. I am Orin, the last apprentice of Merlin, and the last archdruid of Avalon. I've carried the weight of this land's secrets longer than I care to admit. But names mean little. What matters is the task before us. What lingers here, it's older than Avalon, older than anything we know. What you see is the beginning of weirdness itself. Its purest form, raw potential, unshaped by anything but its lack of boundaries and limits. Beautiful, isn't it? Oh, precisely the opposite of what Caradoc wants. I want you to help me resurrect King Arthur, properly this time. Ridiculous, I know. But yes, that's what it boils down to. At some point, we stopped seeing eye to eye and chose different paths. Ultimately, though, both our paths led to you. Yes, please let me explain. By the end of his life, Arthur became obsessed with his legacy. He left mementos, artifacts that embodied the virtues he wanted Avalon to preserve. Excalibur, a symbol of loyalty and sacrifice. The crown of Pendragon, a beacon of courage and resilience. The shield of Palamedes, wisdom and independence. But Merlin and the others didn't believe that would be enough. The memory of war and the fragility of peace was still too fresh. So they acted. When the king died, his soul wasn't allowed to move on. It was shattered, bound to those artifacts. A clever solution, but ultimately flawed. They feared losing what Arthur represented more than losing Arthur himself. They thought the king's essence would endure if bound to his relics. You can't pick and choose with a soul, but that's exactly what Merlin did. He focused on 3 parts of Arthur: his strength, wisdom, and courage. He left out 2 pieces. One, tainted by the Four Dwellers' magic, was deemed too dangerous. The other was his humanity, the most fragile part. Merlin thought compassion and doubt were weaknesses, unfit for a king. Without them, Arthur became hollow. A king with power, but no heart. That way, Avalon's greatest failure was born. I tried, and I found his humanity. It's here, bound, kept safe. But the Four Dwellers' aspects was left to drift, untethered between worlds. Finding it needed more than magic. It needed someone like you. The horrors you endured on that island gave you something no one else has. You can move through the weirdness, touch it, and return whole. That's why you found the king's soul, bound it to yourself, and came back. You flatter me. No, I couldn't have predicted all of that. I merely nudged the Red Church in the right direction and asked Caradoc to assist where I couldn't. I can see you're still doubting me. I want to bring back our king, whole and complete. I want him to lead again and safeguard Avalon's future. It won't. This time, Arthur will be whole. A king must be more than power. He must be human. That balance is what will save Avalon. Because I've seen what happens without him. Weirdness preys on the weak, and the people are too divided to stand against it alone. Arthur is their only hope. Ever they're left without him, without guidance, chaos takes hold. Division festers. You've seen it during your journeys. If things continue this way, Avalon will tear itself apart long before weirdness finishes the job. They will follow him. That's what people do. When weirdness comes to their doorstep, they'll beg for a savior. And Arthur will answer the call. Help me bring the king back, whole and complete. That's all I ask of you. Now you need to go further. I made my case. Please keep in mind what I told you. This is the only way for Avalon to survive.
I was there when it all began, when Arthur first set foot on Avalon. I was a knight in his army. We believed in him, in his dream, in his kingdom. And for a while, it was glorious. Every battle felt like a step closer to peace. Every sacrifice justified by the dream we shared. But then came the cost. The war crimes, the impossible decisions, the massacres, slaughters, and irrational cruelty. We turned from knights into butchers, all because his dream demanded it of us. At first I told myself it was necessary, that it was the price of building something great. But the longer it went on, the harder it was to believe. That's when I realized Arthur wasn't a god, a savior, or a king. He was just another man, no different from the rest of us. And no man should have the power to demand such sacrifices. But do you understand why I wanted so much? I'd like to believe that after 600 years I've moved past pettiness. You need to understand that people thought, and still think, that he was more than human. But he wasn't. He made mistakes, just like any man. And the cost of those mistakes was always paid for by others. I've seen what happens when people cling to kings and myths. They wait, they follow. They waste their lives on promises that never meant anything. But that's not my problem. I'm not here to fix Avalon or to free anyone. What comes after doesn't matter. Let it all burn. Let it rot. Let it rebuild. I won't be here to see it. Arthur's the only myth that still holds weight. And when he's gone, the rest will rot with him. A puppet king, another empty throne, none of it will last. Maybe they'll keep pretending for a while. Maybe they won't. Let them stand, let them fall. It's not my concern. If the weirdness takes them, so be it. At least it won't be another king's failure. Another lie propping up a dying world. It'll just be what it is. Call it chaos, call it freedom, I don't care. Let them rise, let them fall. Let them tear each other apart. I just want to watch it all come down, to see the last lie collapse under its own weight. What comes after, that's for the ones still standing to figure out. Then let it. If this world can't stand without a dead king propping it up, maybe it deserves to fall. I've lived longer than any man should, seen more than anyone should ever bear. And I've waited centuries for this moment, this chance, to end it all, to end him. And we'll never know if that's true, because we've never tried. And who ever said that we were meant to survive the weirdness at all? We were fools to tamper with forces we didn't understand. Resurrecting Arthur, infusing him with powers of the weirdness. We didn't just bend the natural laws, we shattered them. Such violations of nature's order cannot go unanswered. The bill comes due, sooner or later. Always. This cannot be allowed to continue. Listen, it's taken longer than I ever imagined, but now, here we are. You've done what no one else could, what even I couldn't do. You've brought Arthur's soul back together, almost complete, but not quite. And because of you, I can finally finish what I started centuries ago. So, thank you for bringing us to this moment. You're close now. Just one more step. The last fragment of Arthur's soul is waiting for you. Complete what you came here for. And then, we'll meet again. As allies, or as enemies. That's up to you. Go. Find the last piece, and let's end this. Whatever comes next, I'll be ready. I hope you will be too. Go. Find the last piece.
You've come. The one who carries what's left of me. Please, don't come any closer. Don't force me to think about coming back again. Just let me finally die. Because I've had enough. Enough of being torn apart and stitched back together. Enough of being used, shaped, and forced to be something I'm not. Do you know what it is like to be a king of nothing? To see the people you swore to protect suffer because of your choices? Or worse, in your name. I've seen towns burnt to the ground, families destroyed. All because someone thought it would serve the greater good. And they called it loyalty. They called it justice. I've been dragged through every dream, every lie they've built around me. And I'm tired. tired of the weight, of the expectations, of all of it. And most of all, I'm tired of failing. Orin wants a king, not me. He doesn't see the broken man behind the myth. He sees a symbol, a weapon to wield against the weirdness. But symbols aren't people. They're empty. And the more they're used, the more they hollow out the one who carries them. That's all I've ever been to Orin and the Druids. Do you know what it's like to be a weapon? To be forged, sharpened, and thrown at every problem? He thinks ending me will free Avalon. But what then? Without an idea, a light to guide them, they'll stumble, lose their way, and turn on each other. People always seek something to follow, something to believe in. Take that away, and they'll tear each other apart trying to find it. Or worse, build something even crueler in its place. I want release. I want to stop being a tool in their endless struggle. Kill me. Destroy the last piece of me and use the energy however you wish. Take it yourself and become the new king. Give it to someone else. I don't care. Just don't let me come back again. Let me die. Not as Arthur, not as the king, just as a simple, normal human being. Another way? There's always another way, isn't there? Another cycle, another resurrection, another lie to keep the world spinning. But please, not for me. Not anymore. I've had enough. I don't want another chance. I want this to be over. I don't care. Do you know how freeing that is, to finally not care what happens next? Whether Orin gets his king or Caradoc gets his ruin? To not feel the burden of all my failures? To not see my memory tarnished, my plans, goals, and ambitions dragged through the mud? To not see the suffering my name causes? No more deaths in my shadow. No more kingdoms built on my bones. Isn't that what you've been doing all along? Carrying what's left of him? You've already taken up the humanity I was meant to represent. Doesn't that prove Arthur doesn't need me anymore? Do what you think is right. That's all I can tell you, because whatever you decide, it will finally be your choice, not mine, not theirs. And that's the only thing I've ever wanted. You hold the choice. I don't care who you side with, Orin, Caradoc, or no one at all. You have all of my soul. Use it. Take it for yourself. Or give it to someone else. I don't even want to know. Do what you will with it. Just let me go. Let me finally rest. Let me die. Please. finally rest.
Now you need to go further. I made my case. Please keep in mind what I told you. This is the only way for Avalon to survive.
Go on. He's waiting for you. Go on. He's waiting for you.
Let me go. Let me finally rest.
You carried a dying king across the bones of a dying world. Now you stand before what started it all. An idea. I am the reason there must be an ending. I do not guide. I do not judge. I exist so that something can be chosen. I do not offer meaning. I require that one be made. You have brought all things to their conclusion. Now, decide what must remain. Choose, and let the shape of the world follow. You will vanish into the story you chose to restore. You will break the frame, and what follows will not remember you. You will be seen. You will be followed. You will be blamed. You will shape the world to become its witness. Who do you have in mind? She would lead through care and quiet faith. Reverence would rise, but so would the silence around it. He would trade crowns for contracts. A world ruled by law, not lineage. Prosperous, but unanchored. He would try to lead, but he would not be followed. The throne would stand empty, even as he sat upon it. He would dissolve the old and raise the tribes, a new law written in old blood. Then the idea shall be claimed, its shape worn, its burden made yours. But first, you have to bring silence to what refuses to be forgotten.
If this is what you want, then take it, my friend. But promise me you will learn from my mistakes.
I won't let this happen. Not again.
You think any other human could wield this power? I endured 600 years of pain, of suffering, of loneliness. I made the sacrifices, me! And now you think you can take it from me? The hubris. No. I reject your claim. I will reforge Avalon. Perfect this time.
You took Arthur's power for yourself. Whatever drove you, need, ambition, or will alone, the strength of a king was now yours to command. Maybe you weren't ready. Maybe nobody ever is. But you decided to try. It's a heavy thing, trying to do right where others have failed. Still, you stepped forward, carrying the soul and every choice that brought you here. You ruled not as Arthur reborn, but as yourself, flawed, resolute, untested. Avalon changed beneath your hand, and history will decide what that truly meant. With One Eye and Captain Brandon working side by side, the South found a peace it hadn't known in years. The roads stayed open, the fields were guarded, and the people finally felt safe. No longer bound to Camelot or the Knights of the Round Table, it became a land ruled by its own people on its own terms. Soon after you made your decision in the resurrection chamber, Denham took the men here to Camelot, along with most of Kuanak's people. Yvain departed in silence to pursue the Grail and never returned, his absence barely noted as Kuanak faded into history. You awakened the giants, and with them at their side, the Dal Rita conquered Camelot. As the capital fell, the customs of the tribes spread across Avalon. Not everyone welcomed them, but the change had already taken root. Fergas was named the new Galahad the Loyal. With One Eye and Brendan backed by the Dal Rita the Forlorn Swords, he saw that the South's alliance was strong enough to stand on its own. He urged Camelot to leave the South in peace and turned his attention to securing the rest of Avalon. The captain led the South to independence, breaking all ties with Camelot. Under his rule, the horns of the South flourished. Merchants, pilgrims, and adventurers returned to the roads, and prosperity once again reached the far corners of the land. One Eye ruled the South, with the horns of the South at his side. Over time, the Dal Rita of the Fallen Swords rallied to his banner, forging a unified force. With the South secured, he stood in a strong position to launch future conquests across Avalon. Nianta left Kuanak with Yvain, and her fate remained unknown. Yet among the people she once served, tales of her devotion and courage endured, and her name was remembered with respect. Maggot remained among the people of Kuanak, and eventually moved with them to Camelot. There, where druids were forbidden, the community hid him in plain sight. He spent the rest of his life in secrecy, protected by those he had once helped. Urfir chose to stay with the people of Kuanak and later joined them on the road to Camelot. There, he became one of the community's most respected elders, valued for his wisdom and memory. Many sought him out to hear the old tales of Kuanak, preserving the memory of a vanished home. You accepted the mycelium's offer and let the spores consume Sagramor's body. Now the kingdom lies under fungal control, its people connected, obedient, and slowly fading into the roots that feed the spores. After returning to Camelot, Killian lived quietly for a time. When he vanished, few asked questions. Unsettling rumors had always followed him, and most preferred not to remember. You will. Then the idea shall endure, unquestioned, repeated, secured by return.
I begged you not to do this. I begged you.
No, I won't.
Through your sacrifice, the king returned, entire, unbroken, and ready to reclaim his throne. You held faith that Avalon's fate still turned with him, that one last rising could bring balance to the broken land. Now he rules again, and the world bends to the weight of your choice, for salvation or for ruin. You gave everything to restore the king, and your journey ended with his return. Closing your eyes upon the sight of Arthur's triumph, you felt no regret, only the certainty that your final choice had been the right one. With One Eye and Captain Brandon working side by side, the South found a peace it hadn't known in years. Feargas was named the new Gal. Nianta left Kuanak with. You accepted the mycelium after returning to Camelot. Then the idea shall fall, its weight discarded, its rule denied. But the soul is not yet yours to give. First, it must be purified of what still speaks through it.
Thank you. But promise me, you will win this fight, my friend.
After everything you've seen, you side with Caradoc. Then all the suffering, all the pain, meant nothing. I am disappointed. Now I am complete. Avalon will be reborn. Perfect this time.
You brought down the cycle with steady hands and no promise of glory. You did not claim the throne. You buried it. There is no king now. Only the truth you made and the path others may follow. You had no answers, only scars and the will to keep walking. And sometimes that was enough to keep others going too. With One Eye and Captain Brandon, Feargas was named. Nianta left Kuanak. You accepted the Mycenae after returning to Camelot. Then the idea shall develop, its shape intact, its path redirected. But the soul is not yet yours to give.
If this is what you want, then so be it. Take the soul, my friend.
No, I...
You think any other human could wield this? I endured. I made this, and now you think... No. I will read.
You gave the soul to another, not to escape its weight, but because you believed they could carry it. One person, chosen by you, to bear the burden and to shape what comes next. Whatever future rises from their rule will bear your seal, for it was your will that set it in motion. Without the power of Arthur to sustain you, your body fell back into the endless rot of the Red Death. With only a few weeks of life remaining, you withdrew into isolation, finding a quiet place from which to watch the kingdom you had helped forge anew. You entrusted Arthur's soul to Captain Brandon, a leader who built Avalon's future on autonomy, trade, and secular law. As prosperity grew, faith faltered. To many, it was progress, but to the devout, it marked the loss of moral order and the rise of unchecked ambition. With One Eye and Captain Brandon, Feargas was named. Nianta left. You accept after returning